motorcycle lovers, welcome to my channel. I am Paul and I live in California, the golden state of USA. It's home to Hollywood, Silicon Valley, American pop culture, and it's the best place to ride motorcycles. Today I'm going to talk about why I believe the Yamaha Tenere 700 is an excellent bike for Northern California. Now, I mention Northern California because that is my domain of expertise. I've been living here for 25 years, and I've got a very good sense of the roads, the traffic, the types of riding, the conditions, the weather conditions in Northern California. So I feel confident that I can speak to it based on my 25 years of experience here living in Northern California. And then prior to that, my experience was in Australia. So I'll talk about Australia in a future video. So let's talk about Northern California. So specifically in California, we have lots of varieties of roads. We've got the high Sierra Nevada mountains. We've got the loopy twisties. We have the California freeways, where you're traveling at over 80 miles per hour on the freeways to stay safe. And the Tenere has enough power to cruise to easily get up to 80 miles per hour and keep you out of hazards and keep you safe on California freeways. Because when you think about motorcycle riding, California riding, freeway riding, you really need power on the freeway. You need to be able to zip away from traffic. So speed is an asset. Speed has currency on the freeway, and that's why when you ride in Northern California, you have to make sure that you have a motorcycle that gives you enough performance and enough power to get you away from hazards. So California freeway, the ability to ride easily, comfortably and enough power and have more excess power to get even above 80 miles per hour is a must. Now, I did mention Sierra Nevadas, so the other kind of riding that we do here is we're lucky in Northern California that Sierra Nevadas is only about a 2-hour ride from downtown San Francisco. See my video on my 400-mile Riviera day trip to Sierra Nevadas on the Tenere 700. The point here is that we have excellent mountain curvy roads and curvy mountain roads that the Tenere 700 is excellent to handle and basically navigate those kind of terrains. And then the other thing you have to also notice that when you get up to the Sierra Nevadas, we have a lot of back roads. So when I get past Sierra Nevadas, then I get into back road country. So there's a lot of dirt riding available, and the Tenere 700 with the suspension and its dual nature gives you the ability to explore the fire trails and the mountain roads and the non bitumen terrain, and also the back roads in Death Valley and the back roads of Death Valley, the National Mojave Desert. So that's why the Tenere 700 is perfect for that. Now, getting back closer to home in downtown San Francisco, we also have a lot of bad roads, right? So if you get into San Francisco, you run into a lot of bad roads, a lot of potholes, a lot of road where it requires fixes, and then you run over tram tracks, and then in the Bay Area you'll typically also run over railway tracks. So the long suspension of the Tenere 700 is perfect. And speaking of San Francisco, you also need a bike that you can get around around town easily, right? Around town, commute, and get around town in a commute fashion. And then also, speaking of commuting, you also want a motorcycle in Northern California where you can navigate traffic and get to work and use it during the week as your commute bike. So that's why the Tenere 700 fulfills these capabilities extremely well. The other thing that I'm a huge fan of is from a riding perspective is safety, right? I really encourage safety. It's, you want to live long and you want to be safe. So the fact from a safety perspective, besides speed on the freeway, besides having power to get away, the other thing that you really need from a safety perspective is a high visibility of the road, right? So from my point of view is that if the higher you are on a motorcycle comfortably, I mean, you don't want to overstretch yourself. I'll get to a video. I'm gonna come out with a video in the future where I'm gonna talk about the heights and the types of bikes. But in my case, I'm 6 feet tall, so I have the luxury of riding tall bikes. So my philosophy is that if you are able to, the higher you can get, the more visibility that you can get a bike. So based on your height, the highest visibility that you can get on a motorcycle, then you are in a much safer position, right? So in my case, with the Tenere 700, it has a 34.4 seat height, the highest of all of my dual sport and my adventure bikes, the highest seat. So this gives me excellent visibility, and it keeps me above the car line on roads, and it helps me stay safe, and it helps you project and understand what the hazards are in the future. So the high seat really helps. The other thing that from a California perspective is you want to get value for money, right? You don't want to spend too much on a motorcycle. You want to get value for money. So I think the price point from a Northern California perspective, and this applies actually for USA as well, that we are able to get the Tenere for $9,999, just $1 under $10,000 for MSRP, which is the cheapest competitive dual sport motorcycle, mid-market motorcycle compared to the KTM 790s and the Africa Twin. So it's for value for money. It's really up there, and it applies for Northern California for all parts of the country. Speaking of value for money, right, you want a motorcycle that is fun. It's a fun bike for the price, right? So you want to have fun. Besides just getting a cheaper bike and getting more value, you also want to have an element of fun as well. So the Tenere 700 really gives you that fun factor when you ride it here in Northern California. The other thing that the other reason why this is a really good motorcycle is the comfort, right? This is a very comfortable riding position on the Tenere 700. The ergonomics are fantastic. Now, I've ridden Goldwing. I know my ergonomics really well because I've got a Goldwing. I've got a GSA. I've also ridden the Ninja. I've also ridden the V-Strom. I've got a lot of experience on a lot of motorcycle, having a lot of these in my garage. But the ergonomics of the Tenere 700 dirt bike style, it's just amazing. It's just very comfortable. The other reason why the Tenere 700 fits California is the miles per gallon, right? So I believe that given the high prices of gas, and I do envision gas prices going up in the future, you really need a motorcycle that gives you a minimum of 50 miles per gallon, right? So in my case, I've done 1,200 miles so far, and I've been averaging about 56 miles per gallon. So it is lower than my V-Strom, but my target is I want at least 50. 55 is perfect. I'm happy I can take 56 miles per gallon. Now, the other reason why, and I did mention this, the other factor that it's really important to me for Northern California is lane splitting, right? So we have horrendous traffic here in Northern California, and I think this applies to Southern California as well, and probably all parts of the world. And the fact that we can lane split here in Northern California and in general California is a huge time saver, and it gives me time back in my life where I can get to any part of the Bay Area within an hour. Like within 40 to 50 minutes I can get to any part of the Bay Area within 40 to 50 minutes. And The other final factor that I just want to point out is that why I think Tenere is perfect for Northern California is I want the lowest weight possible bike, right? But then sometimes when you end up with a motorcycle that's extremely low weight, right? In the Tenere's case, it's about 452 pounds. But sometimes when you end up with too low weight, then the problem then becomes that when you're riding on the freeways, the wind is gonna blow you around, right? The wind is gonna just kind of wobble you around. But one thing about the Tenere 700 is it has this 21 inch front wheel, and it really keeps you planted on the road in a straight line. And I've noticed that this bike, it's lighter than my V-Strom 650, which is about 475 pounds, but this one is I get less pushed around in the wind on the freeway because of the front wheel than the V-Strom 650, which is a heavier bike, but I get more pushed around on that one. Now, so this is so the point here is it has fantastic stability on the freeway. So anyway, what I've just pointed out here is all the factors, all the reasons why the Tenere 700 is excellent motorcycle for Northern California based on all these parameters. Now I don't know where you live. A lot of you may live in Northern California, so fantastic. But then if you're living in other parts of the world, in other parts of USA and other parts of the world, if you have conditions similar to what I've just described, then you can conclude that the Tenere 700 will fulfill your needs and your philosophy of use in the way that I have been driving value, right? So if you see compatibility, similarities of the conditions, then you will enjoy the Tenere 700 as much as I've enjoyed mine. So anyway, that's all I wanted to cover. I know the way Northern California extremely well. I know what conditions I ride in. That's why these are all the reasons why the Tenere 700 is perfect. Is excellent for Northern California. So stay tuned. I'm going to make more videos in the future on the Tenere 700. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed today's video, click on the subscribe and like button and answer a simple question. What motorcycle do you currently ride and what do you love about it? Stay tuned for my next video. Cheers, mate. God bless you.